I call the meeting to order of the Drainage District Board of Directors. May I have a roll call, please?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2. Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Please.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Mr. Singh, will you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. I certainly will. Thank you, Judge. Let's bow our heads. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you many thanks, Lord, for another opportunity to provide the service, Lord. We continue to pray for our leadership, Lord. Continue to pray for our judge, our four commissioners you've appointed, Lord, to lead this great county of our Lord. Continue to provide them with your wisdom, Lord. Continue to provide them with all your insight, Lord. And more importantly, continue to provide them with your peace, Lord, as they continue to make the decisions that affect us all, Lord. I continue to ask for your wisdom for myself as well, Lord, for all the workers of our county, Lord. Continue to bless us in all that we do, Lord. Continue to watch over us. And we continue to lift up all those that are battling illness, Lord. We pray for our own Lexi that is doing so well, Lord, battling through the issues that she is, Lord. We continue to pray for your hand of healing over her, Lord, and her family as well, Lord. And all those that are continue battling illness as well, Lord, we lift them up to you, Lord. We ask that you continue to guide us in all that we do, Lord. May we continue to work as we're working for you, Lord. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Did we have somebody sign up for open forum?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. And the next item is the approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, sir, Judge. We standard permits that we have for discharge. We have some language on contracts to clarify on a couple of contracts that we have in place. Legal's looked at those. And then just some payments on 2018 bond projects and a payment on one of our projects in Precinct 4. But everything's in order, has been reviewed in order.
Move for approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item 5, General Operations. 5A, a public hearing on allocation of 1/2020 proposed budget. Judge?
Okay, I declare the public hearing open for the discussion of the proposed 2020 budget. Is anyone here to address us regarding the 2020 budget? Going once, going twice. Therefore, the public hearing is now closed.
Thank you, Judge. If I may, 5B, approval of order setting 2019 Dow County Drainage District 1 tax rate at 0.1051 per $100 valuation, maintenance operation tax rate 0.0524, and debt service tax rate 0.0527. I believe there's some language that needs to be read into the record.
And this we've discussed is to, we got voter approval to raise the tax rate 3 cents so that we can, do $190 million worth of work. And so I make a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.1051, which is effectively a 14.12% increase in the tax rate.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
You have to take
Oh, I'm sorry,
vote.
that's correct. We need to take a positive vote. Let the record show that all 5 members of the Board of Directors voted affirmatively.
Great, thank you. Item C, discuss consideration action changes, if any, adoption of the Dow County Drainage District 1 2020 annual budget. Again, we made that presentation a few weeks ago. Everything's in order. We worked with Mr. Siguero on our setting up our step and grade, and we're going before the Civil Service Commission on Thursday, so all that's in order. We did meet with his staff, and we communicated back and forth with our internal HR and him, and everything's in order to move forward on that. So we're proposing to adopt the budget as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, approval set salaries, district employees, travel allowance for board members, and realign slot.
Move for approval.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 5B, discussion consideration of authorization of Drainage District General Manager and Board Members, Commissioner David Fuentes and Eli Torres, to submit comment to the Texas General Land Office regarding the State of Texas Action Plan for Community Development Grant Mitigation Funds. They're requesting the state is actually going to have a public hearing. They're going to have it in tomorrow in Beaumont, but I think they postponed that to next week because of the rains they received, and they're having one on Thursday in Austin to make a presentation regarding the funding that eventually will come down through the General Land Office of Federal Funding through HUD for mitigation programs, projects, planning in areas that were affected by Hurricane Harvey and 2015 and 2016 floods, which we qualified. $4.3 billion is being allocated, and out of that, a big portion is allocated for our county, or we're eligible, excuse me, let me reword that. We're eligible for that, so we're going to be monitoring that information, but we want to present information at this, I guess, public input meeting regarding our major projects that we have, not just district-wide, county, tri-county-wide, but also a lot of our projects that we've been working on beyond the bond and in the bond itself. So if we can get funding through those sources, those monies that we have already allocated for our bond projects would be freed up to go do more work that we need that we know we're short on. So, Commissioner, anything you want to?
Yes, we've been advocating for the last 1.5 to 2 years with respect to the needs for our infrastructure improvements in our drainage systems down here. And everybody has kind of kept pushing us towards grants and opportunities like this. So we feel it's really important to go out there and verbalize what our exact needs are. What we don't want people saying is that you didn't tell us what your needs were. So we're making the effort again to go up there and, again, put forth the projects that we've identified that we've found to be critical for our area to try to avoid structural damage as we move forward, and try to relieve a lot of the stress of people once it starts raining down here. I think the last 2 June events have highlighted our need for additional infrastructure and improvements along the lines of what we already have. So we'll continue to be a voice up there in Austin and advocate on behalf of the Rio Grande Valley and specifically Hidalgo County and all of our precincts. So this is just allowing us to go up there and formally represent the Commissioner's Court and the Drainage District, or this particular motion is just the Drainage District, but to be there formally as a representative of our governmental entity.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, request to approve supplemental agreement number 1 to the current agreement for on-call professional construction material testing services, number C8CDD1 1903300507 B2Z Engineering LLC, for the purpose of amending the agreement to modify the services billing process.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, request to approve supplemental agreement number 1 to the current agreement for on-call professional construction material testing service, number C8CDD1 1705611107 LNG Consulting Engineers, Inc., DBA LNG Engineers, for the purpose of amending the agreement to modify the services billing process.
So move.
Second.
Can you just very quickly just explain
Of course.
what
Those
the
amendments
changes-
that we're doing, where the current agreement were written, when there's a test that is performed, the first test is paid by us because it's a facility that we're going to be incurring, maintaining. But if the test fails, it's upon the contractor to be responsible for that one. However, since we don't have that in the agreement, we're amending it to state that clearly. That way, the responsibility is solely on the contractor when they fail a test. And we didn't have it in our agreement, sir. So we're putting it in there, and legal signed off on it and everything. So yes.
Okay.
All 3 agreements, you'll see MEG as well going through there.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And then the third one is, and my explanation applies to all 3
Same
here.
thing.
Requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 1 to the current agreement for on-call professional construction material testing services, number CACD 11903104009 with Millennium Engineers Group, Inc., for the purpose of amending the agreement to modify the services billing process.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 6A, approval of budget amendment to fund 2018 bond program projects. Specific counts as contracts and work authorization are being approved. Funds are being transferred to undistributed account of 2019 bond series proceeds. Item 1, budget 336, sunflower drain, approval of budget amendment in the amount $575.15 and 58 cents. Number 2 is budget 531, Farm McAllen drain, approval of budget amendment in the amount of $19,500. And item 3, budget 513, Hidalgo drain, approval of budget amendment in the amount of $214,896.22.
Move for approval on 6A 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7A, approve issue of payment of the following items proceeding review and compliance contract terms and conditions. Item 1, acceptance certificate of substantial completion, certificate of completion from Philagonia Site Contracts LLC, turning construction contract number ACD 1-18-060-12-11 RCW drainage improvements.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2, approval application for payment number 4, retainage in the amount of $33,099.23 for Philagonia Site Contractors pertaining to construction contract number HCD 1-18-060-12-11 Precinct 4 RCW subdivision drainage improvements. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, approval to issue payment of the following items proceeding review and compliance contract terms and conditions. Jackson Drain Improvement, budget 310. Item 1, application for payment number 2 in the amount of $23,746.13 from Castle Enterprise LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACD 1-18-048-0925. Everything's in order.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, approval to issue payment of the following items proceeding review and compliance contract terms and conditions. J09 Drainage Improvements, budget 300. Application for payment number 9 in the amount of $24,154.76 from Castle Enterprise LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACD 1-18-020-0509 J09 Drainage Improvements Phase 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We do have a couple items in this.
Okay. Pursuant to subchapter D of chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we need to retire to executive session to discuss these items. I have a motion to.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're back from executive session. Are there any action items to be taken?
Open session, sir. Possible action in real estate acquisition. We'll proceed as directed, sir. Possible pending potential litigation. Nothing to discuss.
No action.
No action.
Okay, I believe that concludes all our agenda items. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I call the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantor, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. As is customary here, we will be having today, be honored to have Sergeant E5 Agustin Gus Garcia, United States Marine Corps, retired, leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Sergeant Garcia served in the U.S. Army Corps from 1991 to 1965.
Marine Corps.
Mr. Garcia is a past commander of American Legion Post 408, Alfredo Gonzalez, and is previous district commander for the 15th District American Legion. Thank you for your service, Sergeant.
Good day, Judge, Commissioners. This is the best they could do, Judge. Bring me over here. But anyway, the colors are in place. Everybody please stand up. Hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. True?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you, Judge.
Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for the democracy alive in our country and for the freedom to worship you. Help our Commissioners Court and all elected officials and those in authority to govern wisely and for the common good of all. Amen.
Next item is the approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled?
Yes, sir. If, with the court's permission, I'd like to pull consent agenda items 9A, 9D, 3O, and 11C.
Move to approve without those.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item 9A is for membership dues, but we need to include, or we need to make it clear that the membership dues are to the, as it's read right here, it says Texas Justice of Peace and Constable Association. It is to the South Texas Justice of the Peace and Constable Association. So with that being said, with that correction to add the word south, I'm asking the court to take approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And 9D, there is no action to be taken today. Consent agenda item 3O, for the record, Commissioner Torres will abstain from any action and/or discussion with respect to consent agenda item 3O.
Move for approval without.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Todes abstained from voting.
And consent agenda item 11C, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes is abstaining from any action and/or discussion, again, with respect to consent agenda item 11C.
Move for approval.
Second?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Fuentes abstained from voting in this item.
Thank you. Yes.
I'd like to move item 16A. I understand we have a young lady around here to honor.
We do. And her family.
And her family.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Judge. Item 6, this is Julia Sullivan, Public Affairs, presenting for Precinct 3 Commissioner Joe M. Flores. Item 16A is a resolution in honor of Maria L. Benavides. Whereas Mrs. Maria Benavides was born on August 13, 1919, in El Perdido Ranch, San Isidro, Texas, to Teresa Hinojosa and Melesio Longoria. And whereas graduating from Rio Grande City High School in May of 1939, Mrs. Benavides began her career as a nurse at Rodriguez Hospital and married the love of her life, Rosendo Benavides, on February of 1947. They then moved to Los Ebinos, Texas, where she continued her career working for Dr. Martin from Mission, Texas. And whereas in 1952, the Benavides family settled in Sullivan City, where together she and Mr. Benavides owned a small convenience store. And whereas, together with her husband, managing their family-owned business, Mrs. Benavides dedicated herself to raising 4 children, Roel Rosendo Benavides, Noemi Benavides, Joel Benavides, and Nidia Benavides. And whereas every minute of her 100th year has been filled with everlasting joy, sunshine, smiles, laughter, and the love of her family, including 11 grandchildren, 19 great-grandchildren, and 7 great-great-grandchildren. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby congratulates Maria L. Benavides for her amazing 100th year milestone.
Move for approval.
Second?
All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Would anybody like to speak on her behalf? Okay. All right, may we take a photo?
Please, of course. Oh, they want us to go over there.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is we have a proclamation declaring September 2019 as Valley Voter Awareness Month.
Judge, Ms. Ramon is, she had asked if she could be here, but Ms. Ramon hasn't made it to the court yet from elections.
Okay, so we'll go to item 5B.
Good afternoon again. Item 5B is recognition of the Health and Human Services Department for receiving a gold level certificate, the highest recognition by the Texas Healthy Communities Program. And it's for efforts to reduce cardiovascular disease, stroke, and other chronic diseases. And here to say a few words is Health and Human Services Chief Administrative Officer Eddie Olivares.
Judge, Commissioners, I'm here today to really acknowledge the hard work of a young man who has done a tremendous job in Hidalgo County, Mr. Rick Salinas. He has taken on, a few years ago, about 3 years ago, we had this grant that was needing some help. And he stepped up and he said, Eddie, Mr. Earl, I'll take care of this grant. I'll run it along with another one. And he took it on, and I said, look, we got to go from honorable mention up to gold. It's a big step. And he said, I can do it. I can make it happen. And I said, well, we got to really promote the health of Hidalgo County, wellness, non-smoking, cardiovascular disease issues, all these things. I'm ready. So he took on this journey of going from town to town to town, precinct to precinct to precinct, mayor to mayor to mayor. And like, just to give you an example, when it comes to pulmonary health and non-smoking, right now, 19 of the 21 municipalities in Hidalgo County have non-smoking ordinances due to a partnership between our program with Mr. Salinas and the American Heart Association. So we have the highest percentage of communities that have non-smoking and vaping ordinances in the entire state. This is one example of what got us to gold. We have many partners. We have the Rio Grande Valley Food Bank, Easter Seals, Texas A&M, Public Health, Buckner Family. Of course, each and every one of our commissioners in each of the precincts all participate. The judge's office participates. And the development of Hidalgo Fit was a program that initially was a brainchild of working through our wellness component through Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. All this was part of this grant. And for this to achieve gold, it's amazing. We got 98 out of 100 points in the whole state. And very few communities in Texas have this. And I would like to be here to present to Commissioner's Court this award, but really the hard work came from this young man and his team, sir. So with your acknowledgement, I'd like to present this to Mr. Salinas and an honor to the court as well.
Absolutely.
He's actually short on words, which is rare.
I just want to say, Judge, Commissioners, this was a team effort through all the commissioners, all the municipalities. So this just doesn't belong to me, it belongs to all of us.
Thank you.
Hey, Ed, and that's why he's on our wellness team.
Oh, yes, sir. Who else, sir?
Eddie, I have a cousin named Rick Salinas.
I know you do. Good family, the Salinas family. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Okay. No, I won't cover it.
One, two, and three. Thank you.
Thank you again. Have a good day.
Thank you. Great job.
Congratulations again.
Thank you again.
Good job, Rex, too.
Okay, item 6A.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 6A, the DA's Domestic Violence Unit Grant Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to continue the payment of salaries for all employees currently being paid by the Domestic Violence Unit Grant pending award of the 2019-2020 grant.
Approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6B, DA's Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant, Fund 1281. We're asking for the approval to accept the Hidalgo County Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant from the Office of the Governor in the amount of $79,294.96.
You want to go to 2? You want to go to 2 also?
And number 2, we're asking for the approval of the certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and the appropriation of the same.
Move for approval on 6B 1, 2.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6C, DA's Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant, Fund 1281. We're asking for approval and authorization for county judge to sign the inventory report form.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6D, the DA's Victim Assistance Program Grant, Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to continue the payment of salaries for all employees currently paid from that grant, pending the 2019-2021 grant award.
Approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6E, the DA's Victims Unit Court Advocate Program Grant, Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to continue payment of salaries for all employees currently being paid by the Victims Unit Court Advocate Program Grant, pending award of the 2019-2020 grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6F, the DA's Title 4E, Fund 1100. We're asking for approval for discussion, consideration, and approval of amendment to the Title 4E contract number 2473-8247 between the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services and Hidalgo County, as well as the approval of the Title 4E grant budget for October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020, and approval for county judge to sign the following documents: contract amendment, budget, Federal Funding Accountability and Transparency Act, and the signature authority designation form.
Move for approval on 6F 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 7A.
Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Captain David Friedland with the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. Under 7A, Agenda Item 72347, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Elena Zermeño, student at Our Lady of the Lake University, as an intern under the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Internship Program for the period of October 2019 to December 2019.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under B, Agenda Item 72383, Fiscal Year 2019 JAG Program 1282. Number 1, approval to accept the Fiscal Year 2019 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant JAG Award in the amount of $45,332. Number 2, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the fiscal year 2019 JAG grant and appropriation of same.
So moved for 1 and 2.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under C, 72448, Sheriff's Office, OCDF 1284. Number 1, approval of fiscal year 20 overtime agreement between the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces and the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. Number 2, approval to request OCDF overtime funds in the amount of $18,649. Number 3, authorization for Hidalgo County Sheriff as local official to sign agreement form and related documents.
For approval on 7C 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Item 8A.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Deputy Sanchez. This is Deputy Zuniga. We're here on behalf of Martin Cantu, Hidalgo County Constable's Office, Precinct 2. Today's discussion agenda, talking about AI 72396, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Ruben Jaramillo and Anulfo Torres as Deputy Constable, Constable Martin N. Cantu, Constable Precinct 2, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 86.0.
Move for approval on 8A.
Second?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda B, it's going to be AI 72354, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Gilberto Sanchez as Deputy Constable by Constable Martin Cantu, Constable Precinct, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.011.
Move for approval.
Second?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 9A.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Item 9A1, there is no action. Item 9A2, just as a follow-up, the parts did come in, and the elevator shaft in this building was repaired, and so all elevators in this building are operational. Item 9B, Commissioner, I'll read out the agenda item. Discussion, consideration, and action authorizing Commissioner David L. Fuentes and Commissioner Eli Torres to submit comments to the Texas General Land Office regarding the State of Texas Action Plan for Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Funds.
So as we discussed in the Drainage District meeting, this is authorizing us to act on behalf of Hidalgo County and the Drainage District to go up and represent us in front of the General Land Office public hearing that's occurring on Thursday of this week. This is in response to a $793 million proposition that's on the ballot for November, so we just want to be up there and make comments on behalf of Hidalgo County and all of the valley with respect to the infrastructure that's needed for our drainage district, our ditches, and all the improvements necessary. So we just wanted authority to be able to act on behalf of the county. So I'd like a motion, or I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Item C is approval to designate members of the Hidalgo County Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization. This is to the TAC, which is the Technical Advisor Committee. Judge, Commissioners, Judge, as
Sure. I asked for this item to be put in the agenda. I believe at the last meeting, we appointed a member for this committee. And after giving it some thought, I thought that maybe it would be good, since we have a rotation among the commissioners to serve in this capacity, would be to put Commissioner Fuentes in this committee like that. If there would be, have our original designee to be absent, he would already be there also, and it would be a continuation of just, learning and staying abreast with what's going on in a very important matter. But I thought I'd bring that up for the commissioners to
So
discuss.
last meeting, we appointed Mando Garza, and this is to do what?
To change them to one of the commissioners.
And so what TAC does is TAC's a technical committee. It's usually a meeting of 3 or 4 hours of where they go over plans. It's usually staffers, city managers, engineers, and so forth. And so they sit around for 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 hours, and look over different projects. They also do a lot of scoring, and they're advisory to the main board. And so usually what we've done is we've had the MPO board member, and then we've had somebody as the backup for the MPO, because that's where you actually do the voting. It's kind of similar, the TAC is kind of similar to our chiefs in that our chiefs meet, they spend lots of time working on different things, and then they talk to their elected official about what's discussed, and then obviously the decisions made up here. So it wasn't to, we appointed Mando, who was the art pick for the county, because it's kind of like at a staff level, and it's multiple hours per meeting, and it wasn't to bypass Commissioner Fuentes. It was because that position is usually a staffer, and I think 99% of the people that serve on that board are staffers, and So then you put an elected official there, it kind of makes it a little more difficult for staff to work. But with all that being said, I mean, if the commissioner is interested, I just wanted to make it clear on that.
I appreciate both of y'all saying what you said, but from the standpoint of, I believe when we made the appointments to the MPO, you were the nominee for us, and then I was the proxy.
That's correct.
So I don't know if there are any rules with respect to serving on the technical advisory committee and then also being potentially sitting at the table for the MPO if you're not able to sit there. I respect the will of the court. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't see that Mando's appointment had any, was bypassing me in any way, shape, or form.
And neither did I.
So.
And neither did I.
I'm okay with him serving in that capacity, and I would be okay with serving continue to serve as the proxy, but whatever the court wishes.
So no action on it, or what?
Is that what you do, Josie?
Yes, it would, if you take a no action.
Well,
it
I want
stays.
Unless you have.
I want to continue to say one more other thing, that this is a very important position that we're going, because the merger of this MPO is a big deal. And I thought I would give, you know, the oncoming commissioner an opportunity, but if you feel that that's not necessary, then I'm perfectly happy with whatever decision.
That's
you
not
make.
what I said, Judge. First of all, we already voted on it last meeting, number one. But what I'm saying is that it's a staff level, and you have 100% staff, and they're working over 3 or 4 hours worth of work, and then they advise the MPO. They're not even making
No,
a true vote.
I'm familiar with
Well, I
with
don't
the
know.
role. I wanted to give Commissioner Fuentes an opportunity to serve in that capacity. If he chooses not to serve, then the answer is no action.
I appreciate the confidence, Judge. I think I would like to, you know, kind of be under Eddie's wing with respect to moving at the proxy level with respect to representing the county.
Okay.
But thank you.
So item D is progress update on Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan, or the MPO. And this, the agenda item is not an action item. The agenda item would be just as a court update to any activity with respect to the meetings. But I was informed that there was no meeting at this last time, so, but.
Well, I wanted to put this in the agenda also. Again, this is to try to have a standard item in the agenda at least once a month, so we can get a report of what's going on in the RGV MPO. Mobility, as you know, is very important. If you're out on the highways at any time of the day, especially on the overpass and other areas, it's become to be a big problem. So I think it would be important, at least for me, would be to get an update as to what's happening in the MPO. So if necessary, to give direction, you know, to our representative as to what the wishes of the Commissioners Court is. So that was kind of that the reason for this, and to basically try to put kind of a standard item in the agenda so we can get briefed on what's going on.
And who would brief us, me or somebody else?
Well, it would be you or whomever you select.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, no action. If you agree with that, we can make that a standard item.
No problem.
Okay? Item 10A.
By the way, I think it's a great idea.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Raul Seguero, Human Resources. I have one item, but first on 10A, requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments, for personnel items that are listed. I do need a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
10B for the District Attorney's Office, approval to award discretionary step 3 to employee hired under slot number 0137, Assistant District Attorney 2, after approval of HR criteria certification in accordance with Section 8.03 of the Classification and Compensation Plan effective upon Commissioners Court approval. The newly hired attorney meets the experience criteria to move to discretionary step 3, and we recommend approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Judge Commissioners, I see Mr. Amon in the audience. If we could Ivan Ramon. Item 5A, the Voter Awareness Month.
Okay,
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Julia Sullivan, presenting for Judge Cortez. Item 5A is a proclamation declaring September 2019 as Valley Voter Awareness Month. Whereas the framers of the Constitution established the United States as a representative democracy that relies on civic engagement. And whereas a fundamental element of effective democracy is the principle that all eligible citizens should participate in fair and open elections. And whereas it's the responsibility of each individual to exercise that right, so that so many struggle to obtain and protect. It's important for voters to always engage themselves in the electoral process and make an ardent effort to register and get out the vote. And whereas in order to reach those who have not fully embraced their rights and responsibilities as a citizen, the community must expand opportunities for voter education and nonpartisan voter registration. Vital contributions in this regard can be made by grassroots organizations, by the media, by educational, cultural, and religious institutions, and by other entities in both the public and private sector. And whereas currently Hidalgo County has 370,327 registered voters, an increase of 14% from the total number of registered voters in 2014. This increase proves that there's continuing need to work together as a community to increase participation in the electoral process in Hidalgo County and the Rio Grande Valley. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim September 2019 as Valley Voter Awareness Month in Hidalgo County and encourages all citizens to exercise their right to vote and to promote participation in the electoral process to their friends, families, and neighbors in local, state, and national elections.
Move for approval.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And we've got our elections administrator, Ms. Ivan Ramon, and some of her staff here to say a few words.
And Ms. Ramon and Judge Commissioners, just for the record, we do have a public participation form from Ms. Fern McClarity with respect to item 5A.
On a proclamation.
Y'all voted on something, so it's on the agenda. And I looked at the elections. I think it's September 16th, we have 370,668. And my question is, with reading, what is the county doing? We register a lot of people, but if you looked at the last voting numbers, they don't come out. So is there something that the county can help get these 370,668 people to get off their behinds and come and vote, and why it's important? So that was my question. What can the county do to get these people? They registered, so what did we be done?
Well, thank you for that. And today's event, I think, speaks to what Ms. Fern is saying. We have a great event at the Bert Ogden Center. We had over 5,000 18-year-olds at this event. We had 10 school districts represented. And my notice to them was just about what she's saying. It's not enough just to register to vote. We all have to make sure, and I think to answer her question, I think we all need to be accountable. We all need to make sure that our family is voting, that our friends are voting, that we help those elderly that cannot make it out to the polls, that we help to make sure that people are knowledgeable about what's on the ballot. We've got a great social media. We've got the ballot, sample ballot on our website. We use Twitter. We use all the social media. We use Instagram, trying our best to get out, but we cannot do it alone. We have to have the entire county, the entire community helping us to do this. So today I promoted that in my what I spoke to the 18-year-olds. But more than that, I asked them to be informed. I asked them to learn about what's on the ballot before they go out there, because that's important too. We've got 9 constitutional amendments on the ballot this year. Do we know what they're about? Do we know what they mean? Do we know how that affects our Constitution and our daily lives? That's what we need to find out. And we've got explanatory statements on our website as well that can help the community understand what these constitutional amendments are. But all in all, as you well know, I don't do my job alone. And I would like to introduce Belinda Sagredo. She's been with the county 32 years, and she's the only person that it has been with the county since the county had an elections administrator back in the mid-1995s. And so Bell moved on with the tax assessor at that point and came over to the elections department and has been under 3 elections administrators, and I'm the 3rd. And so I would like to introduce her because Belinda and her staff are the voter registration department. She is my voter registration supervisor and has been since I started with the county almost 12 years ago. So Belinda, if you'd like to say a few words.
Hello, Judge, Commissioners. I just wanted to add to those 370,000 voters, those numbers grow on a monthly basis. As of January to now, we've actually had 12,000 more voters added to our registered voters. So those numbers are increasing. That's something that, it is that we do need to get out there and get out the vote so these people can actually go out there and vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. And thank you to my entire staff for the hard work that they do. And if you wouldn't mind taking a picture, I'd like to put this on our social media as well.
One, two, and three. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. We have a couple of items. One is our budget, but I'd like to introduce our budget by letting you know about something really great that happened to us. Back in April, we were notified that there might be some funds that we could apply for that are left over from Head Start. We submitted an application, and lo and behold, we got the money. We're buying 10 buses.
Awesome.
We got $1 million. We're very excited, and I think that we didn't think we would get it. Our program officer said, well, you won't lose any money, so do it, apply. And so we're excited. Okay, our budget. If you will look at the letter, the opening letter that is telling us the amount of money that we get, we have to submit applications every year by October the 1st. So we apply for $27,389,796 for program operations and $322,586 for technical assistance, training and technical assistance. Then we will have to add to that our 20% match. So we prepared an application to be able to reflect that. There's a letter that we sent you telling you about our application and that we would have to be able to fund $6,928,096 in the match. We continue to serve the same number of children. We have another challenge. This year we were told we will have an increase of 6% in insurance. So without an increase from last year, we had to find $298,921. Okay? Different things we did. One is we moved some of our classrooms into district campuses. We have partnerships with 10 districts, so Mission, Ed Couch, and Mercedes allocated space for us. Then we reassigned, or we actually reclassified a director position to coordinator, and we were able to collect about $22,000 there. Then we assigned 50% of the salaries of 3 education directors and a staff development director to the training part. And we were able to collect $176,761. The different areas that we had, like alignment of items and expenditures, we picked up another 107. And so we made it up. But every year it gets increasingly difficult for us to be able to meet the challenge of increasing insurance. And we're going to have to look at options in the future because our budget doesn't increase by that amount. The next budget that you see there is the TDL, Texas Department of Agriculture budget. That is to feed our children, and that is in the amount of $3,487,655. That too, of course, had to meet the 6%, but they get a little increase in the reimbursement. So that helped us. Then in the next page, you see the budget analysis. And it shows you from last year to this year. And of course, there is no increase. But it shows the adjustments that we had to make to be able to come up with the money to fund the insurance part that forever continues to increase. Part of the budget describes, of course, the different categories of expenditures. We have our salary scale, which remains the same. There's no increases in salary. There is no funding for that. And then we have a section that shows you where the different allocated, where we allocate our money and the percentages for each area. Education has the highest percentage. We have program costs is at about 91%, and our administrative cost is at about 9%. We really have a very low administrative cost. The additional pages show you other information about the program. Currently, we have 762 employees. And we have, of course, the different categories of employees in the different areas. Remain constant from last year to this year. Over the years, from 2004 to 2020, we have cut 130 positions, which tells you that we really have slimmed down in terms of making use and maximizing all the positions that we have in place. I'm not sure if you have any questions, but we're very proud of our budget being able to balance it. I have the staff here, Mr. Garcia, Ms. Munoz, and Ms. Carrera in the back, that work very diligently to work this budget to what it is. Any questions?
I'd like to make a comment, just that I appreciate the relationships that you've created with the school districts. I think that that is a very smart way to move forward. It makes kids more accessible usually to the campuses they're going to move into. It obviously saves you some money because of the infrastructure of the building and the electricity and everything else. But more than anything, it's having certified teachers in your classrooms that get these kids reading at an early age and allows our kids to move quickly into the school and public school system. So I think having certified teachers and sharing our kids with the school districts is a great way to move forward. So I want to congratulate you on that. I know that Commissioner Cantu and I participated in a review with some of the oversight people, and we're very proud of the work that you guys were doing. So congratulations on getting the budget balanced, and keep up the great work, and thank you, because it's great to go visit our 3- and 4-year-old programs.
Yes.
There at the different
Right.
centers that you have within the precinct that I've visited. It's great to see those kids. You can see that they're being educated. You can see that they're learning, and it's a great head start. The name is appropriate because of what you're doing. So,
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you. We can't say enough for what happens when a district teacher comes into the classroom. But this year we're even having more benefits because the state is allowing school districts opportunities to fund the 4-year-old program full time. And they're sending full-time teachers to our 4-year-old classrooms also. So that's our teacher, the district teacher, and the district assistant for 20 to 22 children. That's just an incredible individualization process. And thank you for your support.
I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Yes. The next report is the PIR report, and that one is the program information report that's available at our website. It has all kinds of information related to our staff, the number of parents that we hire, the education level of the parents, the education level of the staff, all kinds of services. I'll give you an example. We were looking at mental health, and it shows you the number of hours per month that are spent on mental health from an outside consultant, and it equals to about 100 hours a month, which is pretty good when you look at the severe cases of mental health that we have to deal with. So this report is due on August the 31st, and we're bringing it to you now, but by the time it gets there, it goes through a lot of record checking and double checking and making sure that the information is accurate. And it has a certain format, and it has to follow it to the letter. So we're bringing this to you as part of what we need to do for us to be able to finalize our records, but it is a report that was due on the 31st.
Do you need something? Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
The next one is the discussion and approval for the training and technical assistance plan. As you saw, we had over $300,000 that had to be spent on training and technical assistance. A plan has to reflect where those monies are going and what we're going to be doing and who is going to be involved in the training and so forth. And so that's part of the process of the application and the approval for the budget. And we recommend that you approve that.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I thank you very much for your support and also for giving us the opportunity to be able to work with school districts, because I know that at the beginning we had our questions about how that all would work out, but it has always worked out very favorably. So thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, item 12 for adult probation. Mr. Patrick couldn't be with us here today. So this is Fund 1289. It's the RSTAT. RSTAT stands for Residential Substance Abuse Treatment. This is a program for fiscal year 2020 that they'd like to apply for. It's under the Office of the Governor Criminal Justice Division, and so they're asking authorization and approval to apply for the RSTAT grant for fiscal year 2020, as well as approval of the resolution for the RSTAT grant with authority for county judge to sign the resolution appointing Mr. Arnold K. Patrick as the authorized official.
Move for approval on 12A12.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 13A.
Judge, Commissioners, Daniel Salinas reporting for the IT Department. Item AI 72369, authorization and approval to purchase a new wireless device and change the service plan through the county's membership participation with contract DIR TSO 3415 with Verizon Wireless. Items listed below.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just want to say that we are deleting some services that exceed the expense here. So it's actually a savings.
It's a lower cost.
Yeah, a lower cost.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Salinas. And with that being said, Mr. Salinas, as we have been working, we will be finalizing the report to Commissioners Court. I'm hoping that we're ready for next week, if not the following, but a report with respect to when you took over and everything that's been done since you've been here. Okay? Thank you.
Item 14A.
Yes, Ms. Clarissa with WIC.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Clarissa Ramirez with the Hidalgo County WIC program. Here to present on item 14A, 1, WIC Admin Program 1, Account 1292, requesting approval of the certification of revenue by the county auditor in the amount of $9,100,000 and appropriation of the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2, WIC BF Program 2, approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $821,302 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 BF Peer Counselor Program Grant and appropriation of the same.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
3, WIC Registered Dietitian Program, approval of certification of revenues in the amount of $60,000 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 Registered Dietitian Program Grant and appropriation of the same.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
4, WIC Lactation Service Programs, Program 17, approval of certification of revenues in the amount of $289,000 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 WIC Lactation Service Centers and appropriation of the same.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
5, WIC Summer Food Program Extra Funding, Program 20, approval of certification of revenues in the amount of $22,580 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 WIC Summer Food Program and appropriation of the same.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
6, WIC Texan IT Support Funding and Texan Internet Funding Program 22, appropriation of certification of revenues in the amount of $124,200 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 WIC Texan IT Support Funding and appropriation of the same.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
B, appropriation of certification of revenues in the amount of $33,000 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 WIC Texan Internet Funding and appropriation of the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
7, WIC SNAP BF Extra Funding, Program 25, approval of certification of revenues in the amount of $15,000 as certified by the county auditor for the FY20 WIC SNAP BF Extra Funding and appropriation of the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have, you want to present that? Okay.
Good morning again, Judge Commissioners. Item B is titled Approval of a One-Time Payment Equivalent to a One-Step Increase for Eligible Employees in Compliance with the Classification and Compensation Plan due to lack of funding for the grant fiscal year 2020 for WIC and authority for County Treasurer to process. In 2020, county employees will be eligible for the within-step increase, the annual within-step increase, which has 3 criteria: performance, conduct, and evaluation performance. We're in the process of determining the criteria and selecting the people that are eligible. The money will be budgeted this year, and the employees will get the one-step increase in January. They have no money next year for us to give them a one-step increase. The money is available now, only now, and if we don't use it, we lose it. So what we're going to do is give them the one-step increase in a one lump payment right now, and they don't get it next year. And we're going to use the same criteria: performance. It's going to be a one-step for those that are eligible: performance, conduct, and the time and step. So this is why we're doing it this way.
It was never part of the 1.5 that we have for that step increase?
No.
We have on the, okay.
This is grant money, and if we don't do it, they don't get it, it goes back, and next year, these people that are eligible, we're not going to be able to give them.
What year is it going to be good?
For next year.
This is for 2018 or
2020.
This right here is for FY19.
19.
Yeah. But for 2020, they will get.
Make a motion to
Yeah, they'll get it
approve
for this year.
14B.
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And Judge Commissioner, just for the record, I do want to acknowledge the fact that the auditor's office, in meeting with Ms. Clarissa, figured, or they all, in collaboration, came up with this so that we would not lose those funds. So I wanted to make sure
Thank you.
that I acknowledge the fact that the auditor's office was involved in assisting us with this.
Item 15A is my appointment to the Hidalgo County Subdivision Advisory Board. We had appointed a gentleman the last meeting. Actually, he turned out he declined, so I appoint Arcadio Padilla.
Okay.
We'll send you the information regarding him.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Cruz, 17A, we do have, Judge Commissioners, we do have a public participation form for 17A by Mr. Gustavo Chapa. And so, Mr. Chapa, if you will, would you like, why don't, do you want to make your statements now or wait till Mr. Cruz does, that way you can hear the presentation? Oh, you want to take 17B first, okay? For the record, we do have 3 public participation forms for 17B, which is under the budget, from Maria Romero, Saret Garcia, and Eva Luz Dominguez.
What goes first, the public hearing or
The public hearing, if you'd like, can we,
Just do the public hearing.
yeah.
I'm going to declare.
I'm sorry?
Not a public hearing, it's in the budget.
No. It's
but
on the,
there's
but
a
right, so we
public
need to do the
hearing.
public hearing first, and then we'll do the participate form. But I wanted to acknowledge that this is part of that whole item. Okay, so they'll be up in a second.
Okay, I hereby call the public hearing to discuss the 2020 proposed budget in accordance with Government Code 111.067. Anyone here to address us regarding the 2020 proposed budget?
Judge, if I could just make some quick comments before the public
Sure.
comes up. We did file the proposed budget last Wednesday in accordance with Local Government Code 111. The proposed budget, which will be voted on today, includes a general fund budget of $220,331,006. It includes also a special revenue funds budget of $22,748,233 and a debt service funds budget of $28,333,196 and also an enterprise funds budget of $37,178,360 for a total countywide budget of $308,590,000. $590,795. I just want to point that out to the public, to the court.
And so, Ms. Marta, under the public hearing, you also have the availability for anyone to make any comments. So, over and above the participation form.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Romero. El día de hoy vengo representando la colonia Iowa Garden del precinto 4.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Saret García, soy líder y miembro de la Unión del Pueblo Entero. Nosotros hoy venimos a presentarles nuestro diagrama o nuestra gráfica de presupuesto basada en la información pública del Condado de Hidalgo, y yo, como muchas otras personas que están presentes aquí hoy y otros miembros de la Unión del Pueblo Entero y a RISE también, estamos un poquito espantados y preocupados por cómo se está distribuyendo el dinero. Como vemos, el sistema judicial ocupa el 19%, el sheriff el 18% y las cárceles el 22%, la administración un 16%, que da un 70% a puro lo que es cárceles y todo, y el 30% nada más es para los servicios públicos. Y nuestros taxes creo que queremos que sea utilizado más en servicios públicos y reducir el aumento lo que es en las cárceles. Todavía nosotros sabemos que para el próximo año todavía se va a pedir más presupuesto para las cárceles, y nosotros no estamos de acuerdo, ya que los servicios de drenaje faltan, los servicios de saneamiento se quieren quitar o reducir para poderle dar más dinero a la cárcel, y creemos que no es una solución para tener una seguridad de nuestra comunidad. y que nosotros queremos que se reduzca los presos que entran a la cárcel, que los presos también tengan se entren a la comunidad, se reactiven otra vez a la comunidad, que sean, porque tenemos un círculo vicioso, entran, salen y se pagan, nosotros tenemos con nuestros impuestos estar pagando. Queremos que las cárceles bajen el nivel de personas, ya eso lo había comentado, y también, sobre todo, que la infraestructura en el condado de Hidalgo se mejore.
Como le decía mi compañera, la mención de este porcentaje destinado para a las necesidades de la colonia, de la comunidad, es muy poca. Queremos que el presupuesto sea incrementado más al 30% y no a las cárceles. Este incremento puede ser usado en las colonias, ya que no tenemos luz pública ni drenaje y otras necesidades. También nos gustaría que este porcentaje fuera más incrementado para lugares como centros comunitarios, bibliotecas, parques, con recursos para superación de los jóvenes, como internet, música, arte y muchos más programas que ellos pueden tomar para que ellos puedan superarse. También que haya más educación para que los jóvenes no caigan en delincuencia. Es por eso que hoy estamos aquí, para que el presupuesto sea mejor distribuido en la comunidad. Gracias por su atención. Y también hacerles una invitación. Cada 2 años la organización hace tenemos la gala. Mi compañera Emma Lanís va a pasar a darles una invitación y esperamos verlos ahí con nosotros. Muchas gracias por su atención.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Saret Garcia. I'm a member and leader of La Unión del Pueblo Entero. We are here to show you our budget and diagram or graphic based on the public information of the County of Hidalgo. I, like many people of our community, NRIs, pay our taxes, and these taxes increase each year. We do not agree on how our money is being distributed. As you can see, 16% is being assigned to our administration, 19% to the judicial system, 18% to the county's sheriff, and 22% to prisons. This is 70%, leaving only 30% for community services, and drainage and trash services must be reduced in order to increase the money assigned to the prisons. We do not need more prisons. We need to lower the number of people going to prison, taking people with mental health issues outside the criminal system, and reintroduce inmates to society, but most importantly, improve the community services and the infrastructure. And as my colleague mentioned, this percent allocated for the needs of the community is very low. We want the budget to be increased to 30% and not the prison's budget. This increase may be used in the colonias since we don't have drainage, public lighting, or other services. We know that the crime rate has lowered or decreased in these colonias that have been lightened. Also, more parks, libraries, community centers with internet, music, art, and sports program for teenagers where they can move on and don't fall in violence. That's why we are here today to ask that the budget be distributed in a better way for our community. Thank you, and I would also like you to invite you to our gala that we have every 2 years, and Ms. Alanis is going to go ahead and invite you.
Buenas tardes, juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Eva Luz Domínguez. Soy líder de la organización Arruais Adelante. Estoy aquí para apoyar la petición de que se invierta más en la seguridad y bienestar de nuestras familias, asignando un mínimo de 500,000 para la infraestructura de alumbrado público. que equivale a 0.25%, menos de 1% del presupuesto anual del Condado de Hidalgo. También queremos que al menos 2 subdivisiones de cada precinto se alumbren por año, ya sean vecindades con infraestructura o en parte posterior de sus propiedades o sin infraestructura. Muchas gracias. Dios los bendiga.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Eva Luz Dominguez. I'm a leader of the Arise Adelante organization. I am here to support the petition of investing more in the safety and well-being of our families by assigning at least $500,000 for public lighting infrastructure, which is 0.25% less than 1% of the annual budget for the County of Hidalgo. We would also like that at least 2 subdivisions from each precinct be lighted each year, whether they have infrastructure on the backside of the property or not. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Is anyone else here to address us regarding the 2020 proposed budget?
Yes. All right. The first thing I would like to look at, how about a hiring freeze, since we can save money there? How about freeze on raises until all the citizens get a cost of living? Right here, this group is talking about giving them a $500,000 budget. You give them that account of $500,000, which is $500,000, then you better be ready to put other groups together, because it's not just one. This county is built with a lot of people. We're taxpayers. We all have to protect ourselves. We all have to look after ourselves. But a $500,000, I don't care how small the percentage is, they're only one group. How many others will be coming? And you can't have a favorite of your children. You have all your children, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, but there's not supposed to be favorites. So I'm hoping with taxpayers' money, y'all remember that. Jail, they were discussing about the number of jail and the money that's spent. We got a lot of bad people that live in Hidalgo County and do a lot of bad things. And I understand that we're fixing to have to build more on the jail, so that's a lot of money going there. So it's not all put on the taxpayers. Nothing is free. Taxpayers, I don't understand why there's always a burden on all the poorest county with the poorest people, and y'all spend, and everyone is always asking for more and more and more, but you're also taking and taking and taking from the people that can least afford it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else to address us regarding the 2020 proposed budget?
Yeah, my name is Marta Sanchez, and I work with Orion del Pueblo Entero. I just wanted to clarify that we're not asking for the organization. We're asking money for the colonias that at one point these colonias got approved without infrastructure in the front. And this is what we're struggling. We have a colonia right now in Precinct 4 that has been waiting for 3 years to get $10,000 to put posts in the front. This is ridiculous. Everybody pays taxes, and everybody deserves to have services. Instead of spending so much money and services that take away diminish our community, we should be investing on building our community. And this is what we're asking: fairness, and let's prevent people from going into jail instead of just enlarging the jail population. That's what we're asking. Take in consideration these budgets that doesn't reflect how are we going to get people to move forward? And we should not continue to put people more and building more jails to put more people in jail, because we need to use programs to prevent people from going in jail, not only looking for how do we put people. $52 a day is what we pay to have people incarcerated. I think it's cheaper to keep people out of jail than to keep building more jails. And 70% of our budget goes to this issue of keeping people between courts, sheriff department, and jails. 70%, only 30% gets put into the community back. And I think that this is what we're talking about. We are not asking for money for our organizations. We're asking for money for the people who live in the county. Thank you.
Nada más me faltó agregar de que nosotros hemos estudiado, los líderes y otros miembros de la Unión, cómo distribuyen otras ciudades el dinero, y muchos de ellos no invierten tanto como es en las cárceles, invierten más en los servicios de la comunidad. Solo estamos pidiendo, y eso es para toda la comunidad, no nada más para Rice o para el pueblo entero. Gracias.
I forgot to mention that several leaders and I study how other cities distribute the money of their budget, and they don't invest that much in prisons. And thank you very much.
Anyone else to address us regarding the 2020 proposed budget? Hearing none, that concludes the public hearing.
Item 17B2, yes, it's a discussion, consideration, and action on changes and corrections to the 2020 proposed budget. Judge, we don't have any changes or corrections for the proposed budget, so unless y'all have anything.
So it's this one?
That'll be A, 17A.
Okay.
There's no changes to the budget from the last presentation?
From what we proposed on Wednesday. All of the discussion items that we've had from workshops 1 through 8 have been incorporated in the budget as directed by the court. So we have no changes or corrections unless the court needs to.
You have no changes after that?
Excuse me?
You have no changes after that?
Correct.
Okay.
No changes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? The only thing I have to say is God bless us. We've got a lot of uncertainties going forward with the courthouse being built, with 2 new courts coming up, potential acquirance of buildings. I hope we've done a good job in preparing this budget. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 17B3 is approval to set salaries, allowances, and other compensations for fiscal year 2020 as outlined in the budget.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 17B4 is approval of the Hidalgo County pay tables, and those are for the county's compensation, classification and compensation pay tables, as well as the law enforcement pay tables.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, item 17B5 is adoption of the 2020 annual budget at the departmental level.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Going back to item 17A, 1, 2, and 3.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
with that being said, then we do have a public participation from Mr. Gustavo Bravo with respect to 17A. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Chapa, I'm sorry. Is that I had another name up here. I'm sorry, Mr. Chapa, that's right.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners, my name is Gustavo Chapa. I'm a businessman. I'm a taxpayer. Congratulations to the county. We have a lot of growth, a lot of new businesses, entrepreneurs in our city of Edinburg, McAllen. I live in McAllen, Mission, FAR, all the other ones. There's a lot of new structures out there, and there's a lot of new taxes that's going to be collected. That's the good news. Now, you smart people, we all need to work together to run the county lean and efficient, which the way I've been hearing things is real hard right now with everybody making their petitions. But I'm asking you to lower the tax rate. You know, every year, the past county judges say, oh, we haven't raised taxes in the last 10 years. And everybody goes, wow, man, bless you, thank you. But you know what? The taxpayers have not been given a break for all the Hidalgo County Appraisal District increases. They increase the values, which means you collect more money, but you don't, somehow the county doesn't adjust themselves with the departments. I know every precinct commissioner, you know, they need money. And so they all fight for it, you know, and everything, which is fine. But you know what? We have to live within our means. All of us. We have to live within our means. We have a budget. And so do you. Now you are elected officials. You're stewards of our money. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the taxpayers. Do a good job. Lower the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Judge Commissioners, item 17A. Item 17A is approval of order setting the 2019 Hidalgo County tax rates as follows for the total maintenance and operation tax rate, the total debt service tax rate, and the total ad valorem tax rate. This has to be a record vote.
So we can't control what happens at the appraisal district and the appraisals, but I'm glad to make the motion to move for the adoption of a tax rate of .5750 per $100 of value. The tax rate consists of a maintenance operation rate of .5036 per $100 of value and a debt service rate of .0714 per $100 of value, and that is a half-cent tax reduction.
Second.
All those in favor, we need to take a motion to,
What they using is,
Let's do a roll call vote.
or roll call.
Aye.
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 All right, let the record show those unanimous vote.
I have a question.
Yes,
Can Mr. Paul Villarreal, can you tell us what that savings is going to look like for our taxpayers? Just some examples of what they can look forward to.
I didn't bring a judge, Commissioner.
But you have a computer in there.
Oh, yeah, but I got the computer going all the time. Well, it all depends, you know. If you look at, I guess, on a $25,000 value, you know, for if you're going to adopt a rate of .5750 versus the .58 that you had before, you know, you'd probably be saving about $2 or so. You know, that's for the county level. Now, if you have somebody that's got a bigger value, maybe that person's going to save a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
So who are bigger value? Like our business entities?
Well, I mean, we have
Which one
Walmart,
are they?
HEB, AEPs, those companies, you know. If those companies have a value of $40 million, they'll probably save approximately maybe $25,000 or so. So it all depends. On a $100,000 home on the county, you have a savings of $5, you know. But at the same time, of course, you know, it's good that the commissioners and you all approve trying to lower the rate for the taxpayers. But if you're asking me more or less what are the savings, you know, just take the value that you want and take the new tax rate and take the previous one, and you'll have the difference there of how much you're saving. So for a $100,000 home, I think you'll save $5, and if you have a bigger value, you probably save more. You know. That's that.
If anything, I think it's just saying that we all recognize that appraisals keep going up every year, and we're taxpayers too, and we see the community, and I get pulled aside, and I get these, hey man, you know, help us out. The appraisals go up every year, and this is just our way of saying that, you know, we're not gonna just let it be, and we're gonna reduce our rate.
So whatever rate you adopt, November 1st, I'll send out tax statements. So we'll try to make sure that we do the best we can to collect the good percentage for the county. And, of course, I collect for other districts too, so I'll do that. But like I said, I'm glad whatever you approve of, you know, that's what I'm going to hopefully get the ordinance, and we'll put the tax rate together. And so by November 1st, we should send out tax statements. So thank you.
Very quickly, please.
Thank you. Ms. Torres and Commissioner Cantu and everyone else, the appraisal district, I spoke to them. They've got 5% additional values. That's a lot of good money for you to work with in addition to the regular tax value. So it should work out.
Thank you.
Item 17C.
Item 17C is approval to submit for the fiscal year 2019 Texas Vine Grant Reimbursement Maintenance Invoice in the amount of $7,136.71, and the Texas Statewide Automated Victim Notification Service County Verification of Continuing Production Record with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 17D, 1 is approval of the Title 4E Child Welfare Service Grant Budget, contract number 247-38252, for the period of October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020.
For approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 17D2 is approval for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 17E is approval of correction to agenda item 71939 to correct the slot number for position from slot 0169 to slot 0172.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 17F is approval of salary schedule changes as per Exhibit A in accordance with the Hidalgo County Classification and Compensation Pay Plan.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 17G1 is approval of 2019 appropriation of general fund new source revenue as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $858,189. That's a
Judge-
corrected amount.
Right, Judge Commissioners, that is the corrected amount, and we do have a public participation form from Ms. Fern McClarity with respect to item 17G1.
Yes, I love in your paperwork here, it says general fund new source of revenue. Did you find someone other than the taxpayers? I would like to know who the new sources are.
Judge Commissioners, a majority of the new source revenue that the county auditor certified earlier this month had to deal with sanitation permit fees that weren't certified during the adoption last year, so they certified it this year, and that's what we're appropriating.
Okay,
The
so
sanitation
the
permit.
taxpayers again.
The user fee, yes.
So was there, we haven't recorded a vote.
We have a motion and a second already?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Good afternoon. Rocio Villarreal, and I'm here to present agenda item 18A1.
And Ms. Rocio,
Yes.
Judge Commissioners, for the record, we do have a public participation form for agenda item 18A1 from Ms. Fern McClarity. I'm sorry?
A1, we were just wondering, looking at the numbers and evaluations and things, who did the grading? Is there a certain group, certain people? It just kind of, with the numbers, I mean, they got, some of them were tied, 1 and 3 tied, and so we just wondered, looking at the numbers here, who does the grading on something like this? Are you able to tell me?
Can I answer?
I think that you can address the agenda item and then discuss if there's any questions as to whether or not the commissioners have any questions about that.
Okay. So, agenda item 18A1, pursuant to notice provided to the public, presentation of scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by Commissioners Court of the firm graded and evaluated by the Evaluation Committee for the submission of the RFPQ 2019-1030916 BRO for the legal services for the collection of delinquent court fees and fines related costs.
The evaluation committee was established by Commissioners Court. That's the, I think that's what she's trying to let you know.
Okay, I'm sorry, do that again.
The Evaluation Committee was selected on Commissioners Court.
Okay, and how do we get those numbers or names or whoever? We just had a question, I had a couple of phone calls and they asked, who did this with looking at the numbers?
would have been on a prior
Has it,
agenda.
has this
Yeah,
changed?
it
I
was
thought it was
presented.
comments. You can answer and stuff.
So, at the time of the agenda item, when it comes up for discussion, you can take up public participation. This was the changes that we made.
Right, which they make comments.
Right.
And do you address them, and do you go back and forth, or how does that work?
So it's up to you. It's not exactly clear how you want to go forward.
It's not like the old comments?
Not where you couldn't, no.
Okay.
But on this item, since it is up for discussion and consideration, you have the opportunity.
Well, it was addressed in the last agenda where we all named our
We named our committee
chiefs
members.
as the evaluators. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so the first, well, it's up to you all to approve the agenda item.
Well, you read it. Are we supposed to,
Yeah.
like, approve the scoring grid? Is that?
Yes, it's to the approval of the ranking, which was, I guess I'll state that first place is Purdue, Braden, Fielder, Collins, Mont, and second place would be Lineberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson.
And is that because of the first place votes?
Yes, through the evaluations of the committee. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm short.
So you're asking for our approval on the
Yes,
scoring grid?
I'm asking for approval of the scoring grid.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the grading count as presented here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Agenda item B, authority to negotiate with the number one ranked firm, which would be Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Malt, for a fair and reasonable fee for the purpose of entering a contract for legal services pursuant to Government Code 2254 and Article 103.0031 of the Code of Criminal Procedure with selected well-qualified law firm on the basis of demonstrated competence, qualifications, and experience in requested legal services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2 is acceptance and approval of the final negotiated contract with BLX Group, LLC, ranked by Commissioners Court back on August 20th, for the RFP, which was titled Arbitrage Calculation Services for Hidalgo County.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3, no action will be taken today. Item 4, discussion, consideration, and action to appoint, designate additional members to the evaluation committee for the consulting services for the self-funded insurance group health.
That's no action, right? That's the one we're talking about, the one I put on the agenda too?
Yes, sir.
No action on it.
No action.
No action. Oh, okay, I wasn't informed. Sorry. On item 5,
Did you take no action on 3, or did I miss that?
Yeah, no
3,
no
no action on 3.
3.
Yes, sir. On item 5, on items 1 and 2, no action. Item 6, presentation of the qualified vendor submitting the
On number
solar-
5, Marty, so last time, I think I don't know, maybe it was in a meeting, so we have had so many meetings and budget workshops, but
Yes.
we talked about that the presentations would be to the chiefs because they were going to be, I think at one time, an hour-long presentations. So we had all agreed that all those presentations and everything would be made to the chiefs.
To your grading committee. It was the chiefs
Correct.
plus other people.
And so then this came up here, and it actually caused a few problems. Is this coming back, or?
Commissioner, to answer your question, the reason it caused problems is because it doesn't have an action item to go with it.
But we had agreed that we weren't going to do that the chiefs were going to listen to the presentations.
Correct.
I believe my chief was gone for like 4 to 5 days working on this. And
You're
so-
correct. All the three firms, all the firms.
So my
presented.
question is, not necessarily how did this get here, but is it coming back? That's my question.
Well, and give me a second. Let me give you some information. In the RFP itself, there is language that says Finalist presentation dates will be announced. Finalists will be presented with an agenda and specific questions to be answered during the presentation. That's something the court can do. The presentations, as you said, you're quite correct, have all been made to the committee and and your consultant. He was there. This is an option that can be done. It's up to the court whether they wish to invoke it.
Okay.
I think at the time when I think I had requested that.
You did, Commissioner?
We didn't know how many submissions there were going to be. So what we asked was that they present to the committee all the people that had submitted a proposal that qualified, and then they would filter and bring us the top, maybe 4, whatever they felt that needed to come to us for the final presentation.
That's what I remember.
This is on the TPA, right?
Yes, it's just it's on the TPA, yes.
Okay.
So it's up to the court.
Well, they make fun of my memory all the time. Maybe I'm wrong. I just understood that we weren't going to get presentations because all of that was going to be handled. That's it. It's not a big deal. I just want to understand because this could have been if we would have had an action item on here. For some reason, there was no action item on here. We would have had the presentations and we would have been able to make a choice. And so that we could have moved forward with whatever company this board desires. Why wasn't there an action item put on this?
There was the first request was from the consultant for it to be a workshop, so that this could be handled through a workshop. Unfortunately, when he asked, Mr. Sergio told him, we're not having workshops anymore. And so the default was to put it on Commissioner's Court. Unfortunately, the instruction is there must be an action item along with it. And there wasn't.
But it makes sense, right? Because if not, we get a presentation, and then we got to wait a week or 2 weeks, and then we got to get all these calls from all these people, vote this way, vote that way, whatever. I mean, it just makes perfect sense to have a presentation. And I've had my guy out for 5 days reviewing all this stuff. They have it all ready to go. There should have been an action item. And that would have allowed the rest of our staff to move forward, and so that we don't come to January and where we're double debiting checks from our staff, right? Because whether it's a $50 or $350 debit, it makes a big difference. And they've told us that at least on 2 or 3 occasions, they told us, look, this is what we're running up against. And so the concern was for the staff, and also because we got to move forward with whatever company based on whatever information provided to the chiefs. And I just think that this was poorly done.
And I have to agree with Commissioner Cantu. First of all, I believe that we should have decided, do we want to make any changes to the plan? If we're going to make any changes to the plan, then that's what we propose, to the TPAs, And but anyway, so what do we do now?
When are we going to take action? That's my concern.
All right.
Because I don't want people to come in and say, I'm out of money because I got double debited from my check, and it's going to really concern me, and I'm going to really help those people out, but that's my biggest concern.
I'm going to ask for a special, I hope I have the Commissioner's approval on this. I want to ask for a special meeting on Thursday. I cannot be here Tuesday. This is an important matter, and I would like for the Commissioners to give me that courtesy to allow me to be part of this decision. But I'd like to wait till Thursday.
I'm okay with that, Judge, and I just want to come back to Ellie's request.
Not this Thursday. But
no, the third. You're talking about the
postings and such. But would you still want the presentation, Commissioner, or are you going to want for our chiefs
so that
to
I can post it correctly?
Only because if I guess there was some confusion as to what was going to be presented, and it has to be within the confines of
an action item.
Well, yes, but it also has to have the appropriate information in there.
Correct.
With respect to, I think that there was some concerns over the information that was going to be presented.
That was going to be disseminated, yes.
Right. So I'm just asking for clarification, at least, so that when they post that it gets.
Well, I don't know how much time they need to do a thorough presentation, a good presentation. I thought I had seen on here 10 minutes.
We had sent them to summarize their RFP to you and limit it to 10 minutes with Q&A. Now, as the RFP says, specific questions, if you want to submit the questions, and that's what you want them to address in addition to their short summary, then we can provide those to them. It's up to.
We had previously designated our chiefs as the grading committee, though. How does this change that, Josie?
So your procurement doesn't necessarily contemplate that. It doesn't, the way it's written is kind of unclear as to whether you're making the determination or it's your chiefs that are making that recommendation to you. So when we've done it in the past, commissioners have taken the opportunity to ask questions at the time presentations were made, and then at that time, the final decision was made as to grading and scoring. The way this was drawn up doesn't make that entirely clear.
But I mean, so for instance, if our chiefs tell us this is what we recommend, obviously we can do whatever we want, but
You can follow that recommendation.
But I mean, I'm going to put a lot of confidence in all the work that they did. So they're going to provide that. If I have any questions, I will ask my chief first. And then if I still have additional questions, then I think I could clarify them before. But I don't have a problem with the presentation. I'm just a little upset that there's no action item, basically, just because we've been told over and over again that we were going to have a time crunch. But I guess, so what do we want to do, 10 minutes per group?
That's what we instructed them, at 10 minutes.
No, hold on.
Pardon?
Is that what you want, Commissioner?
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I actually wanted a whole lot more. I've seen things coming in after the fact, and I wish all that stuff had been before. I feel very, as much as our chiefs have been out there, I don't feel like I've even had enough time to collect data from our employees who, at the end of the day, this is who it's going to impact. We've kind of been doing things backwards and lots of confusion and so forth. So, again, going back to the fact that this all started in late July. This should have all started back in March and so forth. So having been through the whole insurance process before as a board member in the school district, I still feel very uncomfortable. But yes, I would appreciate those 10-minute presentations. And in between there, if I can submit some questions that can be clarified, I'd appreciate that.
If you'll submit those,
I'll submit those
we
to you.
certainly will send them on.
Yes.
And it'll be sent to all three providers. Judge, is that also?
Can I make a recommendation? See what you think. What do we call it for Thursday? A week from 2 days from now.
Yes.
We have a workshop because there's a lot of misinformation out there. We have a workshop, knock out a bunch of the issues that staff has brought up, that people that have used the insurance. So we have a workshop because a lot of that stuff I know about, but I don't know if it's disseminated to the rest of the staff. So we have a quick workshop, let's say for 30 minutes, and then we have our special called meeting. Just these items. Don't add 30 other items. And then we have a 10-minute presentation. And I think that the workshop would clear out a lot of the issues. And then maybe the presentation, if they have specific questions to the insurance companies, we could do it like that. Just my recommendation.
If you'll recall, that was
plan.
one of the first options that I called you all on having the workshop. My only difference was I was going to say and then wait for the next week, but this is even better. The workshop and a called meeting.
Okay. So we'll do that.
Do we need to take action, Josie, on any of that, or just?
You're not taking action on any item.
No, we're just discussing direction.
On 4, I didn't know we were going to skip. I knew we were going to skip 3 or table, non-action, whatever. What about 4? Is that our chiefs?
Those are your chiefs already in place. Yes.
So
This
for
was to
4,
add
it's
additional.
chiefs.
Yes, it's still the chiefs.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Going on to item 6, this is presentation of the qualified vendor submitting the sole and best bid for the purpose of approval of the contract and award of the bid is to Ergon for SS1 emulsified asphalt and delivery services.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One opposed, motion carries.
Elections Department, presentation of the bids received and to award to Information Management Solutions LLC, the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, and this is for printing of mass mail-out and voter registration for the Elections Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One opposed, motion carries.
Item C1, Precinct 1, requesting approval of final negotiated contract with Alpha Infrastructure Engineering, CLLC, as it relates to on-call professional engineering services on an as-needed basis for Precinct 1.
Move for approval.
Yours. Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
For Precinct 2, D1, presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the firms that submitted for the CMAR project for the North San Juan Park swimming pool, and those were Erickson Construction, Holchamont Ltd., and NM Contracting. They have given you the places for consideration for rank as Erickson first, Holchamont second, and NM Contracting third. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Item B is authority for purchasing to negotiate an agreement commencing with the number one ranked firm of Erickson Construction.
So moved.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Item E is for the district clerk requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements, 262-024A4, a personal service.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
B, acceptance and approval of the scope of services and the fee schedule from Judith Branham with authority to enter into a personal services contract, and this is for the Domestic Relations Office for Hidalgo County.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Item F1, this is for WIC requesting approval of the purchase of camera systems, installation, and accessories with Telepro Communications through the membership and participation through a cooperative purchasing program, and this is as stated on the grid on the agenda, through Buy Board and National IPA. Those are the two contracted co-ops.
Move for approval?
All these are budgeted. Okay.
Pardon? Oh, yes, they're budgeted, and they've also been approved by the grantor.
Okay.
Judge.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
And item G1, this is approval of the final interlocal cooperation agreement document between Hidalgo County and the City of Weslaco to provide commercial waste pickup and disposal services for Hidalgo County's Benito Bravo East Side substations for the Sheriff's Department.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Do you have anybody sign up for open
Yes, sir,
forum?
we do have 3 participants, but I believe 2 have already addressed the court. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute. For the record, Gustavo Chapa, Eva Luz Dominguez, and our last participant would be Ms. Fern McClarity.
I stay here to the very end. Good afternoon. First of all, we're still asking the county to administer the delinquent tax collection as Travis County is doing. It would save the county a significant amount of money. And I do understand that the political contributions would not be as great possibly, but it would be extremely benefit to the people in the colonias that are having difficult times paying their taxes. An example, this commission has had many discussions considering solid waste, and problems are having for the people to pay an additional $20 a month. In reference to the lighting in the colonias, I sincerely do not believe that people understand that nothing is free. Someone must pay. A perfect example of what is happening is the existing lighting program. The people cannot afford to pay for their electricity. I don't know if you've looked at them. There's a lot of them that are delinquent. For even if you decide to provide a $500,000 each year, their property taxes will increase, and they will lose their homes. And in the beginning, they only talked about if the county could just help just a little bit, they'd be so thrilled. Well, that little bit now they're asking for $500,000. What's next year? The $400 million that you have in bonds this commission has authorized will also significantly impact their property taxes. And as a way of addressing the problem of poverty, I would suggest that the county start a program of public education specifically for the purpose of teaching people to speak English. This could be accomplished in cooperation with the County Department of Community Service and the University of Texas. The plan is to allow the poor access to all benefits in the county has to offer. I believe the ability to speak English is the key to their success. It is not increasing property taxes to provide lighting. And the jail is an important to our safety in the public. It is a must to keep all of us safe. We have rapists, we have murderers, we have robbers, we have all these people, and maybe they can talk with their family members when they're little and teach them not to rob, rape, and kill. But as for the jail, it's a must, and I do hope that you'll think about the people. And yes, I do have a problem with it. We do have problems in our county.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge Commissioners, we do have executive session.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, of Sections 551.071 and 551.072, will be retired to executive session to discuss those items. I have a motion to do so.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Okay, we're back from executive session. Are there any action items to be taken?
Yes, sir. Under item 22, open session, item 22A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there is no action to be taken today. Item 22B, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken today. Item 22C, civil action number 718 CV 00265, Roberto Leal et al. Versus Homero Hasso in his individual and official capacities as JP of Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County. Judge Commissioners, I'm asking the court to entertain a motion in settlement of and in conjunction with our outside insurance companies to settle civil action number 718 CV 00265, Roberto Leal et al. Versus Homero Hasso in his individual and official capacities as JP of Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County in the amount of $165,000.
Move for approval. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 22D, claim of Armando Lopez. Judge Commissioners, I'd like Settlement Authority to make an offer in the amount of $180.
So move. Second. Those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And item 22E, claim of Pierre Garza. Judge Commissioners, I'd like Settlement Authority in full settlement of this claim in the amount of $37,500.
So moved. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, there is no action on item 23 and 24. And for the record, there is no action to be taken under, we don't have it today, Monica? 21? Oh, I'm sorry, 21A and B, there is no action to be taken. And so our next Commissioners Court is next week, Thursday, we have a workshop. Would you like the workshop scheduled for 9:30 or 10? 9:30, so we'll have a workshop scheduled from 9:30 to 10, and then we'll have a meeting from 10, or a scheduled meeting of the Commissioners Court at 10 a.m., very limited scope, and we'll also have a consent agenda for our approval of bills.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. Come on, man.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.